Okay. Alrighty.
Sir Ayaz,
Yes, sir.
please, I want to join with another device.
Yeah, I already permitted. Take a look.
Okay.
You should be able to see there, like, yeah, there are 4 and there's 1 in progress to join, right? So I guess because of the internet connection, it should be joining shortly.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem. From this side, it's been already added, so you're good. Alrighty, guys. So today's topic is going to be Dockers. So let's do this from the scratch. Okay, as you can see, we have nothing here at the moment, right? So we'll start by doing sudo apt-get update. Right, so this way we'll patch our Ubuntu server, right, with all the details possible. And one thing I also learned yesterday, if you still do the command one more time, look what's gonna happen. Then you get 4 of these. Hit 1, hit 2, hit 3, hit 4. And then these are the places where you'll go and verify all the details. So which is pretty much similar to this, but then it also checked these additional packages as well.
Okay.
You know, so just for the record, in case if you ever get a question, like you'll know how to respond to it, which I doubt it, but in case. And nowadays anything is expected, so just be ready.
Yeah, they try to test you more.
Yeah. All right. So now let's see if I have the version of Docker in this, which I doubt it, but let me use the sudo command, sudo docker version. So there it is, right?
Yep.
It's already there. So let's do sudo docker images. There's Ubuntu image. So what I can do is for now, let's remove this sudo docker remove image Ubuntu. So container is using its reference image. Okay, so sudo docker ps-a. Okay, so this thing is up. So let me go ahead and stop this first. Sudo docker.
Sorry, can I say something?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm drawing you guys back a little. I don't know if it is possible for Brother Ayaz to mention the functions of the commands like the ps-a, then it will help me to really follow.
No problem. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Just give me 1 second. What I wanted to do was
He wants to clean up everything, so we start afresh.
yeah. Let me do that one more time. Okay, let's do sudo docker ps-a sudo docker ps. Okay, so no more, there's no containers running.
But don't you have a container there and an image?
Yeah, that I'm gonna just try to go ahead. Sudo docker images. Okay, sudo docker remove image and image ID.
Because hold on. So do sudo docker remove, copy that container, the one on top, the 164. No, 164 down. You remember, you see the error message you gave?
This one?
No, the one down, yeah, that one.
Okay. And look, this one and this one is also the same, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So remove that one, or you stop that one first.
So sudo docker stop.
Yeah. And then sudo docker remove.
Image.
No, remove that container first.
Okay.
Let's see if that's gonna, did you take it?
Yes, it took it.
Okay, now you're gonna do sudo docker remove image RMI. Do images first. Sudo docker images. Okay, so we have one there. So now do sudo docker RMI. And then that 6340.
Done.
Good. So do sudo docker ps. Good. And then sudo docker ps-a.
Done.
Good.
So we're good now.
All right. So Trust, we're gonna start from the very beginning, how to update, install, and then pull the Ubuntu image. Okay.
I have one more question.
Okay.
The question is, if you already have a sudo docker, if you already have a Docker installed, how do you uninstall it?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. I was gonna ask that too. I guess you can do let's see.
So let's just suppose, right? Give me 1 second. Let's just suppose we're starting from scratch now, and I'm gonna go ahead and run sudo app get update, right? Okay, this is up to 100%, so this is fine. So let's do sudo app get install docker.io -y, right? Just in case.
Yeah, that's gonna reinstall. It's gonna tell you Docker is the newest version.
And in case if you don't have Docker installed, then this command will install the Docker, right? Okay, so now that this is done, let's do sudo docker -- version. This will tell you the version of the Docker that you're currently running, right? Now that we have Docker, we need to run an operating system in the Docker. So in this case, we're gonna run the Ubuntu. So the command to get that is sudo docker pull Ubuntu. This will get the latest Ubuntu image that we need. So once this is done, it says downloaded newer image for Ubuntu, the latest, right? So now we're gonna do sudo docker images to see if we have the image correctly installed. So as you can see, this is the repository name, the tag, the image ID, created when 10 days ago, the size, which is 72.8 megabits per second. So obviously the size is pretty much very low. So now what we want to do is, now we have the image, right? Now you want to run the image. So we have downloaded this on our Ubuntu server. In the Docker's program, we downloaded Ubuntu. Now we want to run Ubuntu, right? So the command for that is sudo docker run -it -d. So IT basically makes the container interactive in the terminal. So that's why we can pass some commands through it. And then -d makes the container run as a daemon in the background. What that means that the process will not stop unless we command it to stop, right? So sudo docker run -it d, and then the image name, which is the under repository. So we're gonna do Ubuntu, right? And now I'm gonna click enter. So this ID right here confirms that now it's running, right? Like something happened, something triggered. Now, so now that this has taken place, we want to make sure we ran it. Now we want to make sure if you want to verify if it's running or not, how do we do it? So we're going to do sudo docker ps, right? And this tells us, let me run that command again. So this tells us, okay, right here, right off the bat, it tells you the container ID, the image name, the command bash. It was created 34 seconds ago. The status, which is how long it's been up for, any ports, and the names, right? Now let's suppose if we had multiple containers running and from which certain containers were off. So then to view that, we would do sudo docker ps space -a, and this would list all the containers that are existing in this specific Ubuntu. So if we had 10 other containers,
that will include, sorry, Mr. That will include the ones that have been stopped and the ones that are running.
right? So any active or inactive containers would show up here for the record. So this is good stuff. Now, after this, let's suppose if we want to, let's say if we want to stop a container, right? For some reason, we want to stop this container. So then we would do sudo docker
Kill.
right? Stop, right?
Okay.
And then you would get the container ID, right? This
Yeah.
would stop the container. You see this? So it kind of confirms that, okay, this container has been stopped. Now, in order to view it, you see in PS, you only see active containers running. But since we stopped it, it's not showing up here. So in order to see inactive containers, we'll do PSA, and look, it's right here, right? And then it tells you the container ID, the image name. It shows you when it was created, and then it also shows you the status that it was exited. So anytime something you stop shows up as exit 22 seconds ago, right here. But over here you see status up about a minute ago. So I guess it's between up and exited, right?
Yeah. And then down the status is exited.
Right.
So the first time we ran it, it was running, and that's why you have the time there as how many minutes it has been up. He said it was created in 2 minutes ago, and then it's up about a minute. And then when he killed or when he stopped it, under status, it shows exited. And then it's like 22 seconds ago.
Right. So now what I'm going to do, you're absolutely right about that. And Sunny, one of the good things is that, to be able to see this, like, sometimes people can confuse what's the difference between created and status.
Yeah.
So this is the whole purpose, that the creation is the original date and time from when this was created, right?
Yeah.
So just in case if you have multiple containers and you are trying to figure out like what is what, right? So since we stopped this, I'm gonna go ahead and run this image again. So it's sudo docker run -it, right?
Yeah.
Single -it -d, and then the image name, which here is Ubuntu, right?
Yep.
So now I'm gonna run it. So it confirms, right? It shows you this transaction ID. So let's do sudo docker ps. There it is. But look,
Just hold on there. Let me explain. So when you run that, when you run the container, right, to give you the whole container ID, like everything in full. When you do the PS, it will only give you the first numbers there that ends with A17. You see that, right, Mr. Yes?
yep.
Okay. So that's what it's gonna take. Yeah, that one.
Okay, so let's suppose.
So do sudo docker ps-a. Okay. So now it gave us the one that you exited, and then the one that you just created.
Right.
So that's the Mr. Trust, that's the explanation Ayaz was giving you, that when you do sudo docker ps-a, it's going to list all the existing container in your Docker engine. That is the one that is active, and then the one that is inactive.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Sure.
Or
Sure.
if you only do Docker PS, it's only going to show the one that is active, the one that is running.
Okay. It's clear.
Okay.
Yeah. So what does the PS stand for? Because Sir Ayaz explained that sudo docker run IT means interact
Interactive.
terminal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then the -d, I didn't get the -d part. What does the D stand for?
-d basically runs the process as a daemon.
The daemon.
On the background. So this way, the process will only stop if you tell it to stop.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's going to be running. It's going to be running.
Okay.
Behind. It's just like a back engine. It's going to be running until you decide to stop it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think
so
the PS is just equivalent to like a list command that is, on Git, where
okay.
you do or
LS.
Linux, -a or LX, because if you do LX-A, it's going to list every both directory and files in your account. But if you do just LS, it's only going to do list.
Yes.
Like, see that, right? So that's going to, like, the A-A gives you, it's going to list all the hidden files. Those hidden files, you didn't create them. Those are like those files that were created where you install Docker.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Our session will end in 1 minute and 34 seconds.
Okay.
So I'm gonna reopen it again. So what we will do now is we're very close towards the end of where we are with Docker, but I'm gonna start from the beginning again. Just in case we'll record it. It'll be a lot more cleaner version for all of us.
And then it's gonna be fast. It's gonna be faster anyways, because there won't be. You're just gonna run to this point here, and then we'll continue from there.
Right. So do you want me to delete this again or no?
No, not really. We can still use that. We can still do Docker pull and pull more containers, more
Okay.
images.
Yeah, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. All right, so let me go ahead and end it here.